It's March 30th, 2022. Here's some whatever. Talking about Channel 7. This is Dr. Jen, she calls herself Ashton. They're showing the facility of Moderna, which carries one of the vaccines that they've been pushing in New York City during this corona pandemic. And then it shows who's in this bioengineering facility. Just so at germ warfare and at who are the players involved for tactical problems, being that I am being harmed by several facets in the same area, same time that this actually investigative reporter is reporting on Moderna. They have a what looks like mixed facility, which is a problem when these are going to be inoculated into a blood-borne being that are not all genetically assimilated or a kindred. They behave differently. They have different proteins, different antigens. They're different. The skin develops differently. Their hair looks like different under a microscope. There are different anabolic proteins. There's different nucleic acids. There's different enzymes. There's difference everywhere in a nanometric, but yet they're coming out with one bioengineered product. Why? And then injecting it in everybody, making it almost like some crazy sociopathic law that's unwritten that they just have to get out in like some kind of campaign. And I don't know who they are, because I don't know how to get to the Isle of Man and go, excuse me, fellas, there is a really big problem in New York City, and I can't find a brotherly representative that works for the man. Right, how do I get something straight through to the man when I have not a soul to speak to report these things that there are real reporters, but I don't see anything getting better in like a real operating schedule.
Unpack there. First of all, when it could be later this week, people can start showing up at their pharmacies if they're 50 and over. And we have to underscore today's news from the FDA to author.
So there's one. From afar, it looks like an Isle of Man, possibly representative or kindred or relative of some sort on some computer, on some bioengineered equipment. But here we go.
Authorize this second booster, and the CDC just signed off.
Whoa, I am not comfortable with, in the North America, either of these two looking over clinical studies, case studies, anything blood-borne, anything that's going to interact with my blood configuration. And definitely I'm not comfortable with either of these being employed in something that is then going to come into a municipality without my principality council. And they're going to try to what? Stick me and inject me with a needle that may alter the path of my healthiness in the foreseen or unforeseen future? Big Apple calling on the horn for the Bananas Association. I looked for Emerald City. I saw them on TV once. Saw a movie about Wizard of Oz. He had some Emerald City New York's got some Emerald Society in the Big Apple. I have no idea how to contact those people. I mean, I saw them at the parade, but what they do in their daily lives and how they scatter, like taking glitter in your hand and it just disappears. That's like New York City. I have no idea where all the white people went or what they do for a living. They've never come out to introduce themselves.
Off on it. I just got off a conference call with Dr. Rochelle Walensky within the last hour. They are leaving it as an option for people 50 years of age and over who are...
This is what goes on in the facility I'm withheld out of. I don't even have inspections access to this. I can't even question the people who partake in this. If I didn't have this woman doing this report, I would have no idea what the employee or labor market of genetics working inside this facility looked like. I mean, there's some visual inspection at some point. Now, who's in charge of that? Because we are in the state of New York, and we are in North America, and they are touching really dangerous products that could alter my biogenic health and my public health, for certain. Besides the fact, they also staff themselves in New York with participants that are not of my genetic akinment, who are writing all sorts of laurelettes and like fancy doctorate paperwork, toilet papering the entire system with just how awesome they are and how everybody should listen to their ratios. No. Because I've already proven by visual inspection, see, this double chin doesn't exist in healthy Nicole. See this size and this casualty of war, of germ warfare, doesn't exist in this form or figurine in this capacity when public health is actually being held accountable. You know when it starts to look like this? When Nicole starts to raise her hand and say, brotherly love, I know you exist somewhere in the system. I'm having real serious issues with some of the travelers and some of the management. They apparently went to spend some time and some vacations together, and now they've lost sensitivity all completely to just how bizarre and erratic and dangerous their behaviors have become.
Are 4 or more months since their booster dose. And the reason for that is because we've known and we've spoken about it in the past.
Whoa, here we are. Also not comfortable with him having anything to do with my blood or with any kind of injectable substance. Ever.
That efficacy against COVID-19, if you've been vaccinated.
If this is some kind of allowance that some shitbag allowed somewhere in the system, I want to know, with a bullet to their head inside of a gun chamber by a registered, allowed person to carry a gun, being of authoritative correctness within the greater schematic, how and where do I go for safety, since this participation level is unacceptable because it actually endangers my health, safety, and well-being for long range sustainability of public health for my own person and my children's persons.
Vaccinated tends to decline at the 4 or 5 month mark. So they're trying to stratify risk here, and 50 years of age and over leaves about 108 million American.
Again, that's in a different numerical category than the other participants. I'm still not comfortable, long hair or not, whatever. I mean, like, this is how stupid humans have become. The argument is it uses different proteins, different building blocks, different sequencing. It is different. When it comes to creating health and or bad things, I definitely don't want more potential problems studying my one situation. I need something in the laboratory that's within the range of replication of my own person, that's going to keep my sanctity sacred in blood brotherhood. I can't have alternates inside a lab coat, inside a clinical study, inside a trial, inside anything that wants to secretly study tissues or whatever, or that wants to change the alchemy of my person. There are plenty of good whatever that are of my own kindred. I really don't see a benefit ever to changing that, but somebody has along the way.
An adult eligible to take the option in this category.
I made my appointment today. The CDC now says the BA.2 subvariant of Omicron is now the dominant strain in the U.S.
These laboratories are really frightening. I don't even know how they got the approval to open these. I don't know why anyone would agree to have multiple bioengineering systems running at any given time, especially due to the outbreak of immigration disease and this live nation promoters and connoisseurs that can find poor people from any section of the world, get them all riled up, and then say, why don't you go trip down the way to over here and cause trouble? I mean, it is opening up such a Pandora's box. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. And I don't even see any level of governance or any effort made whatsoever to make an offer of a healthier system or a health system that is under strict constraints so that the body doesn't look or break out in whatever the hell it is that I'm suffering under. Where is that option if you don't want to live in this soup of some sort? It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.